good evening, one and all. Welcome to GG Ahmedabad's today's session for coschool.ai, a very improved tool for educators and teachers that can use AI for the purpose of education and teaching. Together with me, we have people from coschool.ai, Mr. Arshad and Gayatri ma'am. So Arshad is working with CoSchool and he's handling these connections of educators. Arshad, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to this session. And yes, thank you, Dr. Vishal Varia, for arranging this. As the name suggests, Google Education Group, I'm sure that tech-savvy educators would be here. And yes, they will understand more about how technology is helping in the education sector. With me is my colleague Gayatri Mote. She is the academic head for our organization, and today she will be conducting the session. A warm welcome to Ms. Gayatri, and she just now you can take it up, Ms. Gayatri.
Yeah, thank you, Arshad, and also thank you, Dr. Vishal, for introducing us. And this is definitely a platform where we look forward for us to interact as educators of today, looking at tomorrow, which is so futuristic with AI. As you know, this session is all about AI, which is ravaging into our domains, especially education and other fields, though it was subtly with us, with Alexa and Siri and Androids giving instructions to it. But now that it is coming in a big way in education and shaping or what I can say, we are in the transition state. So it is here that coschool.ai has come up with a web app, and it is something which we have looked at, which can help teachers to assist them in every way. We find assistance in every field, every profession. But for teachers, at a personal level, having an assistant is a great thing, which can empower us and which can take to a different level altogether, delivering what we see as the citizens of tomorrow in the classrooms. So how this assistant from CoSchool AI can be taken advantage, or I can say harness it and further leverage AI is what we are going to see. So what I'm going to do is just take you through the features of this app. So as you can see here, we have certain features which get reflected, and this is an AI assistant. And as teachers, there are many roles which are performed by us. You'll find there are administrative roles, there are academic roles, there are other parallel roles which we take forward. But the core remains that it is all about the teaching learning process which happens in the classrooms. Now, this core needs a lot of planning behind it. Now, this planning takes a lot of time, a chunk of time. Definitely, we brainstorm together, have collaborative approaches, and put our ideas together, and then build on the lesson plans which need to be delivered in the classrooms. So keeping that in view, especially, this assistant helps in planning our classes well. So as you see here, let me just take you first to the fundamental and the most important aspect of teaching and learning process. However, the teacher is equipped or knowledgeable with maybe qualified too. It is that bond which a teacher can nurture and then bring in that brings learning into the core. So it is that connection, that bonding which happens in the classroom. Now, this can happen under two, three different scenarios. Now, this is some part wherein we build bridges or we build connections with the students. Now, we all know through research and other things that once a child likes or loves a teacher, by default, the child learns the subject easily, as effortlessly or seamlessly. Now, to build that bonding, you'll find there are different what you call parameters or scenarios which we find in the classroom, whether it is behavioral issues or learning issues or emotional issues which we find in the classroom, which the teacher has to deal. Now, in coschool.ai, as you can see, I know I just have to point out other aspect is that it is aligned to CBSE curriculum. Now, CBSE curriculum, which defines NCERT textbooks as the publications to be followed. So more or less, but otherwise you'll find for this bonding to happen, irrespective of whichever grade it is, you'll find it is the behavior depending on the age or the child or the background, you'll find it's the same, right? So if you take, as I said, we have touched upon three scenarios. One is behavioral, learning, and emotional aspect. So if you just see, there are certain situations which are very commonly faced by teachers in the class. You can see anxiety or depression or self-esteem and social anxiety, all such things. So if just as a case, if I just pick up a student who is struggling with feeling very lonely in the class, what are the tips which a teacher can pick up? Now, the question is, why are we looking at it? As a teacher, before she or he can go to the counselor in the school, at her own level, before escalating it further, she can diffuse the situation, handle on her own. So what are the tips which we can take from this assistant is what is reflected here. As you can see, it talks about how to, the issue was of feelings of loneliness. So it gives you tips how exactly a teacher can handle it by building connections. So assigning group work, and it talks about buddy system. Buddy system, we all know, are aware, it is in the defense system, which is very prevalent and it is used a lot. And monitor and support, keep an eye on the students' well-being. So you find these tips can be immediately used by a teacher, and so that it strengthens the bond or the connect between her and the child, which is very important in any teaching learning process, right? So these are the tips. If you see, say, maybe grade 8, if I say, say behavioral, I'm picking up behavioral issues. The earlier one was emotional issue, so randomly. So you can see inappropriate language which is used, bullying, or disruptive in nature, or cheating and other things, vandalism, refuses to accept all these other things. So if I just pick up, say, disruptive behavior, again, it gives tips. So it talks about implementing a behavioral management plan and work with the student. So what you find is these are few tips which a teacher can ready-made pick up from here and implement, so that it can mitigate the issue at hand quickly and before it gets further out of hand, right? Teachers who might be facing these situations in the classroom, and those who have completely explored this. Yeah, Dr. Vishal. Yes, please.
Yeah. So I would just would like to share with the educators here is, I suppose everyone is aware with the concept of chat GPT, like generative AI. Now the concept is like, even though it is there, we are unable to harness the capacity of the technology, because we at times fail to give appropriate prompt to chat GPT and to fetch the results. So here, I remember the old computer class where we were told that a computer is a GIGO device, garbage in, garbage out. So in case if you fail to give an appropriate prompt, you will receive the output which is undesirable. So what this coschool.ai here is, and what, as we can see, what ma'am has already shown to us, is basically there are prompts, appropriate prompts already ready for a teacher that is required on a day-to-day basis. So here, this tool is going to provide you assistance in terms of ready-made prompts for CBSE, for relevant syllabus, relevant subjects, and relevant chapters. So it is worthwhile exploring, and this is how the things are working here. I suppose am I okay with it?
Yes, you're on the dot, spot on it. As you rightly said, these prompts need to be curated or crafted in such a way that very specific in their like output, whatever you desire. Now, it is in that crafting a prompt that we go haywire, and that's where here the ready-made prompts come into picture, which are very, very handy, right? So that's the reason that what we have done is we have come up with prompt of the day. For today, it is, you can see, I just clicked on it to for you to see. It talks about creating a positive classroom culture, emphasizing on respect and inclusivity. So that's a broad area, and it talks about I want to foster that culture, and what are the ways it can suggest actionable plan which a teacher might be willing to want to churn out, and that's what you get here as an output. So it gives you the whole output, which is completely giving the specific strategies which can be picked up. So these are the, see, you can see that to establish clear expectations and model respectable behavior, inclusivity and diversity, encourage active participation. So likewise, what you find is a ready-made prompt is given, which is very specific in the need or the requirement of a teacher, and the output is desired according to your needs. So, and this is very important with respect to using AI, especially ChatGPT tool. We are talking about ChatGPT tool here. So this is prompt of the day. And in similar lines, there is a whole set of library which gives different prompts. So now you can see it got enabled. So there is a whole list of prompts which are ready-made, given, and for you to use by just clicking it. So you can see there are a number of pages. So let me just take this up. You can see this, when the moment I click, it takes you to conducting language day events in school. Now, so we want ideas for that, how to celebrate it, in what way it can improve the child's development and preparation. So it starts giving the output. Now, the question is, yes, there are all ready-made prompts which are given. Now, the question is like, if you're a science teacher or a math teacher and you're not interested in language day, isn't it? So what you need to do is just tweak a bit. Instead of celebrating maybe language day, as a math teacher, you want to celebrate Ramanujam's day or a Pi day or environmental day. So just substitute that particular day with whatever you would require, and then ask accordingly. So it gives according to whatever you ask. So that means you're specifically giving the input or the prompt, which is what you require. Now, as teachers, all of us know that before we start off a class in the classroom with any particular topic or the concept, we certainly introduce it as a hook, as an introduction, right? To spark that interest and keep the attention of the child, right? Yeah, so it is curiosity triggers here for you, wherein you find, again, as I said, this as of now is completely aligned to CBSE curriculum. And the grades, it is right from grade 1 to grade 12, and the subjects. And the other part which you find is that the textbook which we follow is completely aligned to NCERT. You can see all the chapters you have here are the textbook which is prescribed by NCERT. So these are the chapters which you find of NCERT textbook, and say roughly any specifically, let me just take evolution. And there are subtopics which you find here: mechanism of evolution and a thought-provoking to generate. So here what it gives cues, it gives questions pertinent to the what you call the mechanism of evolution or the chapter evolution. Now before I click thought-provoking, now the question is, these are different flavors. Every teacher has her or his own style of teaching. Now, this style of teaching can be humorous now, or sometimes the topics need thought-provoking questions or a normal traditional one. Now, depending on the style of the teacher and also depending on the interests of the children or abilities of the children or what I can say as depending on even the topic, you can choose between these flavors which are available. So what you find interestingly is under each of these flavors, you'll find questions aligned to that particular aspect. That is whether it can be humorous or thought-provoking. Here you find I clicked on thought-provoking triggers. So it talks about what are the other mechanisms of natural selection and what is the role in driving it. So it intrigues it according to the topic and makes children to think. In curiosity triggers, the introductory part can be in any of these flavors which you can pick up, and all or a mix of and match of all of these flavors. So coming to learning activities, say grade 8. Let me just pick up social science, understanding, say, secularism, and a gamified one. Now, every lesson plan needs a lot of learning activities to be infused in it. NEP talks about integration across the chapters, that is cross-curricular, or even experiential learning, or even art integration. So owing to that, here you'll find that activities are given with the method of how to go about, the criteria of assessment, and also student reflection. Now, every class also has higher ability students as well as the students at par with the standard or the level. So based on that, you'll find at least 3 different learning activities are given. So it is going on giving. So the first one, if you see, it is because it is a gamified one, what you find is there is a sort of a small competition created among the students so that they do the activity in a non-threatening atmosphere. Because all of us know when anything is gamified, when they lose, they don't feel hopeless. The way when marks are reflected, which are lower, or what we say as failure marks, then they feel very rejected or shamed about it. Now, that element can be removed by these learning activities which are gamified. And in this stress-free environment, students tend to learn from each other easily, and it doesn't matter if they don't win. It's okay to lose. That's attitude which we can build with these gamified activities. So you can see here, the higher ability students, one activity is given, then followed by a multimedia presentation activity. Again, a group activity where they compete with each other, but in a healthy way. And in the process, learn whatever they need to learn. And further down, a case study analysis. So quickly they need to study the analysis, come out with proper solutions and present it. So these are few gamified versions which you find in learning activities. So the most important aspect which we find is lesson plan. Now the question is, though I'm showing it on this through the laptop and other things, when I said log in through the phone, in the phone, when you go into the browser and go to the web page, coschool.ai, you can log in and directly get it there. The best interesting part is that, let me just show you that if say carbon index, okay, any other subject, maybe probably. Yeah. So say triangles, and I pick up similarity of triangles and gamified and create. Now we know there are different components of lesson plan. Starts with learning outcomes, and then skills, and then talks about strategies, pedagogy. So it's going to bring in all those components in a proper manner. And you can see here, math teachers can reflect on this also. So learning outcomes are given, talks about, because we picked up the topic of triangles and the similarity of triangles. Okay, so AA, sides, SAS, all these things, and the skills which are important. owing to the subject, the precision part of it, and then abstract reasoning. Then the properties of triangles as prerequisites. So it gives a whole gamut of complete in-depth of what is required in the planning. So here you can see all these. Now, let me just bring to your notice that we have picked up only one aspect of it, that is triangles, similarity of triangles. So it is pertaining to similarity of triangles. It gives you all these components, the strategies which can be used, the pedagogy which can be used by the teacher to teach similarity of triangles under the chapter of triangles, and the resources which you can click and directly it takes you to the details of it, externals. So now the question is, like, if I further scroll down, I hope you're all able to see WhatsApp me, right? Here, when I click on this, it may take up to 5 minutes before you receive it. Now, in case, as a teacher who has registered and I like it, this particular lesson plan, and I say WhatsApp to me, the number which you have registered, it is to the same number, to the WhatsApp of that number, it sends a PDF of this particular lesson plan. So offline also, when you're maybe probably in your bus or when you're traveling time, you can browse through and fairly get an idea as to what are the things which you would like to incorporate or implement in the class.
We keep on adding new things and make it a Brahmastra actually.